What's your name? What's your net worth? Where you come from? What's your net worth? Are you self-made? Or you came from nothing and now you getting paid? Let's have a discussion. Let's go to work, ay. Let's go to work, yeah. Let's go to work, ay. Let's go to work, let's go to work, yeah. Let's go to
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Self-Made Secrets podcast. You know, I am your host, Marissa Sample. Thank you for being here today. I'm super excited to share my next guest with you guys. He is a dope trainer out here in LA. His name's James Mayhew. Correct? I say it right?
Yeah.
James Mayhew. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here. Just give me a little brief who you are and what you do, and then we'll get right into it.
Got you. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
The setup's dope. The intro song is phenomenal. So I am a performance trainer, primarily strength and conditioning, based out in Los Angeles. I've been training for 7 years. In the last 4 years, I've been lucky enough to work with pro athletes at a gym called Athletic Gains. So that's pretty much
In
the
a
summary.
nutshell of you.
Yeah.
You're from here, though?
Yeah. Born and raised in the Valley.
Oh.
And probably the furthest I'll go is Sherman Oaks. I'm not a hipster. I'm not going to move to Hollywood, but I love the Valley. I love LA. So
That's what's up. You're kind of like my neighbor, actually. That's where I'm living.
you're in Woodland Hills?
I am in Woodland Hills. I think
Oh,
we live like
shit.
around the corner, low key.
Oh, wow.
But you probably don't, last time we talked about that, you probably don't remember. Anyways, though, how did you get started in training? Did you always want to be a trainer, or were you just an athlete yourself and then it just shifted?
So I knew since I was 15 or 16 years old that I wanted to train professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough I grew up with one of the kids on my high school team. His dad played in the NBA, and he trained a lot of NBA players at our high school. And I never even knew that training pro athletes was even a job until I saw him doing it. And right when I saw that, I kind of realized this is exactly what I want to do. So understanding what you want to do when you're 15, 16 gives you a huge advantage over a lot of people. Don't figure it out until maybe 20 or 25. So I was able to get focused and start building my knowledge literally as soon as I was finished with high school.
That's cool. And you knew too. It's not like you were just like, oh, this would be pretty cool. You knew and you started going for it.
Yeah, there was anything else would have made me upset. Like I'm a very, it has to be this way type of person.
Yeah.
Especially with my own life. So, yeah, it was really no other option.
That's cool. So who was your first pro athlete that you got to train?
The first pro athlete, Taj Gibson.
Oh, cool.
One of my favorite people I've ever worked with. He's worked with Athletic Gains for 3 years now.
Okay.
And he's worked with my boss, I think, for 7 or 8 years. Just a true professional. Really taught me a lot when I was first starting and I was really nervous as an intern. He really taught me a lot and helped me kind of just calm down and relax and be myself. And yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about being with pro athletes is a lot of times you're surrounding yourself with someone that's older, has more life experience, and wants to teach you. And you can't really lose when you're in that situation.
Absolutely. It's like a win-win for you.
Yeah.
Because you're doing your job, but you're also getting like a training yourself in the mind and the spirit in a sense too.
You're just absorbing what works with people at the highest level. And you kind of sit back and you're like, well, this person does it this way and that's gotten them to this point. I should probably just do some of the similar things.
Yeah. That's like the perfect scenario.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for
exciting.
Sure.
And then I know you said something about when you first started and your fear and anxiety and when that shit was kicking in. How do you still have that sometimes? Like if you get a new client or something, and how do you deal with that?
So when I was first starting, I would just be in my head a lot
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to, when you're trying to not mess up, and then that actually forces you to mess up.
Yes. Law of attraction.
Yeah, for real. And now I really don't get nervous, like no matter who I'm working with or what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm so prepared, and when you have the right amount of knowledge combined with I'm it's probably one of my best and worst qualities is I don't really get nervous or like worked up that often. So I'm usually kind of laid back, and that's a very kind of good skill for training.
Yeah.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's a relaxed environment. You're just training someone one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no real need to be over the top. And once you realize the person you're working with is going to make mistakes during the workout, as a trainer, you can kind of relax as well.
Yeah. Gosh, I wish I had that trait. But you know what though? I probably do in some areas. Just whenever you have the confidence built, and like you said, being prepared always helps. But that's super, super dope.
Yeah.
I love that. So do you have like a daily routine or anything that you...
Oh,
or are you a fly by the seat of your pants type of person?
Oh no, I'm a routine. I'm all about the routine. I've been all about the routine since I was a kid.
Oh wow.
My routine has definitely changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Being around my boss, Travell Gaines, he's really kind of taught me kind of just how to grow up. Because when I first started working for him, I was 22 years old, and I used to think like waking up at 7 a.m. was like early morning grinding. And he really changed a lot of my habits for the better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess my routine now for the last 2 or 3 years, I usually wake up 5:30, get the workout in before my first client of the day. And then I'll train from usually 7 to 1 or 2, and then a little bit of computer work. And I just like having my day shifted more towards the morning, because then I can relax and kind of be a little more creative and just have free time for myself in the afternoon.
Yeah. 5:30. So you work out before your workouts start?
Yeah.
Or do you probably don't work. Do you work out with them, or do you just kind of walk them through stuff?
I'm just coaching.
Okay.
I'm just standing there with my hands on my hips.
So you work out and then you tell people how to work out.
Get the workout in, get myself pumped, tell them how to do the workout. A little bit of computer maintenance, and then I love the steam room. Like I was in the steam room last night until 9, from like 8 to 9. So the steam room is like my meditative getaway place. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet. Do you have like a bedtime? Are you strict about your bedtime and stuff?
I'm pretty I'm pretty strict on the bedtime. I'm never just gonna stop something and just go right to bed.
Like it's 9:30, guys.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm not that psycho, but I will. I do try to go to sleep early. You will not see me outside past 9-10 p.m. and you will probably not see me awake after 10-11.
Wow.
Whether it's by choice or by falling asleep on the couch, I'm gonna get that sleep for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know, health is a focus for you, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's your whole life. It's your career. But I wish I could say the same about my bedtime and my wake up time, but I'm going to get there. Do you look up to anybody other than obviously your personal, you said your boss? Is there anybody else that had a huge impact on you, or any books or anything that you read?
Definitely. When I was first getting started into training, Tim Grover was a person I really looked up to a lot. He trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade. And he has a book called Relentless, and it's the little caption is From Good to Great to Unstoppable.
Ooh,
and
I like that.
It's a really good book, and it applies to any area of anything you're doing in your life. And he does a great way of, in the book, kind of using stories that he, personal experiences with a lot of his top athletes to kind of get a message across. And it really kind of opens your eyes to understanding, and yeah, I guess you could just say understanding why certain people achieve super high levels of success and others want to, but they don't. And then there's a whole other group of people who don't even think they can achieve a super high level of success. And they're kind of putting themselves in a box all on their own. Wow. And yeah, it's a great book. And it definitely got my mindset to shift from just kind of living life and going with the flow to really putting my foot on the gas and like getting to where I wanted to go.
Yeah, because mindset is huge.
Yeah.
That's almost more than any physical work you can do. You can grind in what you think is the right way to grind, but until your mindset is a certain way, you really can't reach your full potential.
Facts.
Don't you think? And then that's always changing as well. Well, it should be. I mean, growing, not changing, but.
And like your mindset, like when you're younger, it's more aggressive.
Yeah.
And then you get a little bit older and you start to realize I don't have to be so over the top.
Yes.
And then I feel like I'm in that transition of where when I was a little bit younger, I was just like rah, like really aggressive over the top. And now I've started to realize like this is life's long. Like if
God willing.
Yeah, God willing. And you can't go all out every single day. You got to pace yourself, and you just got to be very specific with how much energy you give to every situation.
Ooh, that's good. And it's about the long term too. I don't think people think enough in the long run. Everybody's trying to get the quick, gratification and success right away, and stressed out, depressed if they don't get it. And I think it has a lot to do with that mindset thing and not having the correct mindset and having it in the, I guess, your focus in the right places also, maybe. I don't know. I guess that's a big thing for me anyway when it comes to just goals I have. But I totally know what you mean. And I just want to ask you also, I know you said that the 3 different things in that book that like what they taught you, is there one thing that a person that would set a person aside in the long term that stood out to you that you remember, that you can recall? Because I know you said there's things that this person does to guarantee success, somewhere in the middle, and then somebody that doesn't even have the mindset. Is there one thing you remember about?
Like, you mean one thing that would like...
that he said in the book about...
like longevity?
What people who are successful long term and up here.
I think so. He has a lot of good stories just about Kobe and Michael Jordan just being that super aggressive alpha dog type person. And in those stories, a lot of it is about them just having full understanding of the end goal. Because it's hard to get super focused if you don't have a concrete end goal.
Yes.
So
that's true.
Yeah. So it's like if you're swimming in the ocean and you don't know where to go, you're probably not going to be swimming that hard.
Yeah.
But if you know the final destination is this exact way and you're tired, you're out in the ocean, you're probably going to be able to swim harder than the person that's second guessing what's going on.
Yes. That's kind of deep. You just got kind of deep on me with the metaphor.
Deep.
Oh my gosh.
I love metaphors.
You do?
Oh yeah. You could ask
Come on with it. What's your...
I'll keep sprinkling them in.
Oh. Yes, please do. Because I'm going to ask you stuff about, manifesting and stuff I know we've talked about before that we both truly believe with all of our hearts. Yeah. And I just want to know if you have anything in particular that you have manifested 100%, like that for a fact, like I manifested this shit.
Yeah.
And continue to do, or, do you have something off the top of your head that...
Yeah. It was kind of strange as I was getting really into like law of attraction, spirituality, manifestation. I had a professor my freshman year at CSUN in college, and she told us, write down all your goals from now, it was 2013 till 2020, and write each year a different step of where you want to be. And my life literally followed what I wrote down.
Really?
Everything was just a year late.
Wow.
So it was really crazy. Like I took 5 years to graduate because I failed my last class.
Okay, that's all right.
But because I failed that class, I got in a situation where I had the internship with the gym I'm at now. And I started training pro athletes literally the year after I said I would.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that I had wrote down was about 5 things. They all ended up happening.
Wow. And they say when you write stuff down, it doesn't even matter if you put a date on it. I mean, the act of writing it down is what can happen at any time. It puts it out there, but the timeline, you're right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like word for word, everything.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. My goals changed a little bit. Like I thought I wanted to work for an NBA team. And I kind of realized that's not the space I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And working with NBA players individually is something more just my personality, and it was just a better fit.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so you only do NBA, WNBA, what do you, I mean, football, NFL?
Yeah, we work with a lot of football players.
Oh, cool.
And I've been lucky to be with a lot of NFL guys, like training them in the off seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of people that I have like that real like one-on-one connection with, it's a lot of basketball, all the way from high school, college to professionals.
Yeah, and it's all word of mouth.
A lot of it's word of mouth. Our gym gets a lot of people, just in general. So I'll meet someone through my boss at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm such a basketball fanatic. So whenever I'm with anyone involved with basketball, it's really easy for me to kind of communicate and for us to kind of get close that way.
Yeah. So basically all your besties are NBA players, is what you're saying.
Basketball players, for sure.
Yeah. Basketball.
Definitely.
Not just NBA, because, excuse me.
Because I have a lot of friends I grew up with that play professional basketball. And,
wow.
I've just been like very fortunate to be around really good basketball players my whole life.
You ever hoop with them?
Yeah, a lot of them I grew up training with, playing with.
Like hooping.
If we have, like I love playing. If we have like open runs, I'm there.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I love being on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like the worst person on the court,
yeah,
I'm still talking the most trash. Like,
oh, you're a trash talker too?
Oh yeah.
How did I not assume that?
Yeah.
I should have assumed that.
You should have.
I should have known. I know the metaphors,
And I love talking trash when I'm training too.
Oh. So if I ever get trained by you, just be prepared mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, and it's
for the trash talk is what you're saying.
It's to bring out the best in you, get you mad at me so you get the results.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about how important branding is to you. Over necessarily, because I know you were talking about possibly owning a gym. And how people are always like, why don't you do this? Or why, and you talk more about how it's better to just have the brand. And so I'll let you explain, but
so
break that down.
So I feel like a lot of people can learn a lot from this.
Mm-hmm.
One, running your own business and being the boss is a very time consuming, stressful, a lot of sacrifices you got to make.
Mm-hmm.
Also, building a brand is doing all those sacrifices for 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Never ending.
So, yeah. And so, like, a lot of people will ask me, like, oh, yeah, you're probably going to open up your own gym in a couple years. And I tell them, like, no, I have no desire to do that. I love being at Athletic Gains. And I'm not saying that because I work for Athletic Gains.
Yeah.
Like, it's a platform that's put me in a position to where all the biggest people I know and I work with is all because of that brand. And they've all came through the doors because of that brand. And so when you're in a position where you're doing what you love and you have an important role in a company, and if that company has a strong brand, I would just advise anyone out there, if that's the role you're in, figure out how to maximize your role in that brand.
Yeah.
Because people always want to start their own brand, start their own stuff, and they don't realize that takes years of sacrifice and dedication and a little bit of luck. And so don't take being part of a good brand for granted, because the brand just brings opportunities for you.
Yeah. That you never thought could even be possible. And then you build a personal brand within that brand as well.
Yes.
By meeting all those people.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily something you would have got if you just went and were like, okay, I'm going to go here for a little bit, but then I'm just going to start my own right away and, try to rush it. Like we said before, everybody wants to rush it, and it's not always the best thing.
No, I totally agree with that. And people, I think it's a lot of the social media stuff is people see other people with an established presence and they think, oh yeah, I want to do that too. And they rush into it.
Yep.
And they don't realize, no, that person with the established presence spent years building that up and getting that credibility.
Yep. So do you think as a trainer, like for somebody who's looking to get in that field or says they want to train professional athletes, because there's probably like a small amount of trainers able to do it. I don't know if it's saturated or not. I'm just guessing, but what advice would you give to somebody thinking like, oh God, this is a saturated market. Should I get into it? What should I do besides going somewhere that's well branded? But just becoming a trainer. So
training definitely is saturated in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because everyone's a trainer. I swear, before Instagram, training wasn't cool. People used to ask me, why do you want to be a trainer? Over the last 5 to probably 8 years, training has gotten very oversaturated. And everyone has their own brand and their own thing that they're doing. So my advice for someone that would want to get into it is you're going to need a mentor to show you the ins and the outs.
And that's in any market.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so true. Mentor in anything you want to get into that's saturated or not, new. Exactly. Yeah.
Because with the mentors, like you're going to learn lesson. This is a good one.
All right, guys.
A smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from others' mistakes.
Okay.
So with a mentor, you're getting firsthand experience of seeing what works, what doesn't work. They'll tell you what works and what doesn't work.
And it could save you years of time.
Yeah.
And
it's like a cheat code.
Money and It is a cheat code. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my only other thing for someone that would want to get into training, it really depends where you live. If you are in a small town and you have a lot of good high school players there, you would probably be better off starting your own brand and just dominating your town. Right. Versus if you're in Los Angeles, it's going to be hard to compete with guys that are super established and have a celebrity clientele,
Yep.
So your location is definitely going to determine whether you should join someone else's company or start your own brand. And it's all circumstance.
I was going to say that too, because I think a big part of anything you do and starting something new is just being open to growing and learning and criticism and open to new opportunities too, because you never know when something's going to come up that's going to change your life. Exactly. Just like you said, failing that last class in school really led you in a different direction that worked for you. It worked in your favor.
Yeah.
And I know, didn't you do you trained the Olympic team somehow recently? Wasn't that like a opportunity that you didn't expect?
Yeah.
also? Like
Yeah.
something like that.
So I've been lucky to travel full time with Draymond Green for the last almost a year now.
Oh, wow.
And so we were in Las Vegas getting ready for the Olympics, and I was able to be around Team USA for 2 weeks. And that was an experience I didn't even really think was possible.
Yeah.
When I started training, I really didn't even think it was possible, even when I was training Draymond last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to have opportunities that you don't, stuff you don't even know that's going on.
Yeah.
And being open and being available is probably the biggest thing. Keeping yourself in a situation, especially as a trainer, keeping yourself in a situation where if you got a call right now, you could be on a plane in an hour and off in another city. That's very valuable because not everyone has that luxury, and that is definitely a
advantage.
Yeah, it's an advantage, and the word's escaping my mind, but it'll come soon.
Yeah. How is it training Draymond Green?
Oh, he's like,
he seems like a character.
Him, Candace Parker, and Amari, which is one of my high school kids. Those are like my 3 favorite people to train because they're all super, super technical with what they're doing. They want to know what they're doing. They want to know why. And then they're competitive too. So they make you a better coach because during the training session, you feel their intensity. And I'm the type of person, like, if you're getting intense, I'm going to get intense, and it's just going to keep going more and more.
Yeah. And I bet the trash talk between you and Draymond is crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely.
You probably learned. Did you learn from him? Is he the one that taught you?
He makes Draymond
you know what I mean?
He makes everyone around him better. So whether it's trash talking or just being a better person, like, he makes you better.
That's awesome. I'm a fan too. I mean, I'm a Golden State fan. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not a Laker fan.
I'm not a Laker fan.
You're not a Laker fan?
Mm-mm.
So are you a Clipper fan?
No, I don't have a favorite NBA team.
Wow.
My only favorite team is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
And like, it's serious with the Eagles because that's my only favorite team. Just with the NBA, growing up around all Laker fans.
Yeah.
And Laker fans are the worst. Like, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I'm just going on a tangent right here. When the
go ahead.
This might go viral. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I was crying.
Really?
I got maybe 15, 20 phone calls from my friends, my family. It was like a huge event.
Yeah, they haven't won in a
Ever.
long time. Ever. Is it ever?
Ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were crying.
Yeah. And we've been a team. The Eagles have been around since the 1930s.
Yeah.
When the Lakers won the championship last year, it was like a normal Tuesday. Like, I was watching in a room surrounded by Laker fans. The game ended and they all looked at each other like, oh, well, got work tomorrow. Like, it was barely
emotion.
even a celebration. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like because Laker fans, they just expect so much and they're so delusional. Like, any time a player is a free agent, they think he's going there.
Yeah.
Like, they think they're getting Steph Curry. Like, yeah.
You think they will?
No.
I don't think they will either. I don't think he's going to.
It doesn't make sense. Like, they think they're getting Damian Lillard. And it's like.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening either.
Yeah, Laker fans are just. I have no more to say.
They're cray-cray.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
They're delusional.
I mean, me not being from here, I don't have a strong anything toward California teams, to be honest. I mean, I'll support them and go to games, but I'm not. I'm still a Cleveland girl, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're still hurt off of LeBron leaving and coming here. So we're still dealing with those wounds. But anyways, that's really cool. What do you think is more important with working out and training? Is it people's food or people's workouts? Because I'm sure you do custom for tailored to people.
So the food is 70% of the battle. Like, for sure. Food is, it's like if you had a super expensive car and you're giving it really cheap, bad gasoline.
Oh yeah.
Like it just doesn't, it's over time it's going to wear out and you're going to mess something up. Some people just have insane genetics and what they eat doesn't really affect them. But that's maybe 5% of athletes. From what I've really seen, a lot of times just food is so crucial just for their performance during the training, along with their results over time. The athletes that eat really well just get better results.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you know about Ocho versus science. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Eating the McDonald's and training, and I'm like,
and he swears by it.
And that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But also, if there's like one of my clients, Freddie Gibbs, the rapper, he could eat fast food every single day of the week and still have a 6-pack. And like, so sometimes it's just genetics.
Yeah. Metabolism.
And like, yeah. And if you're raised eating a certain way, your body's very used to it. So you can continue to keep doing that.
Wow. Well.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably not. That 5% is a small percentage of people that can get away with it.
Yeah.
Do you, I guess we have to wrap it up in a little bit, but what do you think your biggest win has been and your biggest loss to this current point in your career?
My biggest win has been, well, one of my big overarching goals was to always have a couple kids that I worked with since either college or high school make it to the MBA and kind of be along with them on that journey. So my biggest win has been able to kind of make those relationships with a couple of the younger kids that are really up and coming. And my biggest loss in terms of training has been in that same realm, because one of the kids that I was really excited for that I was able to work with before his freshman year at Kentucky, he passed away in a car accident in April. And Terrence Clark.
Okay.
And like that. Terrence was like one of the best, fun, coolest kids I've ever been around. And I was really excited to see that whole growth happen. And just aside from basketball, just seeing someone that you're close to that's younger than you pass away, that was the first time I had ever like experienced that. So that's definitely been like the biggest, toughest loss.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's heavy. I'm really sorry about that. But do you think did you have to take a break after that? Did you just kind of like stop for a little bit, give yourself time to recover? Because mental health is, is important. I don't know how you deal with stuff like that.
I was going to say, one thing about training is, and a lot of times, well, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes while I'm training, it kind of hits me and I realize training puts me in such a state of flow. And I'm connecting with the person that I'm working with so much that the hour goes by like it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times training helps me kind of block out whatever is going on. And actually being in the gym helps me stay in that flow and just kind of be present.
Yeah. So
I actually got the news right after I was training someone, and then I was training the next day. Even when my grandma passed a couple of years ago, I was just adamant on like continuing to train.
Yeah.
Just because it puts me in a good mental space where I just feel very useful. And that helps me kind of just deal with the stuff that's like a little more serious.
I like that. Because honestly, physical health is a part of mental health as well. They're all intertwined. It helps. That's one of the things they always recommend is working out, get moving. Yeah. Do something every day to keep They
definitely coexist. Yes. It's like you need the mental health up to a certain point to even want to do the physical stuff. And then the physical stuff helps your mental go to a new level.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your mental gets really strong, and that helps you take you to a whole nother physical level.
Yes.
And then you combine a little spirituality in there.
Oh, sprinkle it on in there. Go ahead. Some positive affirmations in there. Do you do positive affirmations?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. That's
part of your morning routine?
Yeah. So I've had like the cheat code to spirituality and all that. One of my really good friends, I've been friends with her for really maybe like 6-7 years.
Wow.
Her name's Lior. She's dope. Like, she really taught me all about manifestation, spirituality. She has a whole YouTube channel talking about all that stuff.
What is it?
And
check it out.
Yeah, look her up. Lior Alexandra. She's dope.
Lior Alexandra.
And very insightful. And we used to work out together in the morning and like say positive affirmations after the workout.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's dope. And that's who kind of got me really into writing. Like, you write your first couple thoughts of the day when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And just all like the little life hacks. She's really into all that.
That's awesome. You do have you have a lot of cheat codes, man.
When you're around people that are a little bit older than you, smarter, and have good life experience, like,
that's the real cheat code right there.
Yeah,
that's it
for real.
The people older than you with the experience.
Yes,
because your circle is everything.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had to, like, with your level up over the last few years, do you feel like you had to weed out some people in your life, or no?
You know what's crazy is, because I still live in the same place I grew up in.
Yeah.
I live 10 minutes down the street from my parents' house.
Yeah.
I haven't really had to ever, it's never like a confrontation where it's like, yo, we can't be homies.
Right.
It's just that a lot of people have kind of grown with me, and like,
that's
honestly,
ideal.
A lot of my
that's
closest friends have really grown with me. Like, for instance, my roommate, actually, when I was training kids in the backyard, he was working at a random mechanic shop, working on like Toyotas. Once I started training pro athletes, around the same time, he started working at a shop where he works on Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of been that same progression with a lot of the people around me, which has been, it's just super lucky, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's what you want, to be in your circle, like, for other people.
I don't want to be the most successful person in my circle, because that's just no fun.
Well, and you know what they say too.
What?
If you're the smartest person in the room or in your circle, then
find a new circle.
Find a new circle. You never want to be the smartest in the room.
Yeah, no.
Never. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You're so cool. All right, so to close it up, I just want to ask you one final question. And you probably have answered it throughout this whole interview, but what do you think the one thing that leveling up requires? The most important number one thing? In all areas, in any industry you're in or anything.
Oh, easy. You just have to understand who you are and be very honest with yourself about that. So if you know,
that's so good.
Yeah, like, you have to play to your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that goes around, like, you got to work on your weaknesses, which you do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can just accentuate your strengths, be very comfortable with who you are, and then that helps you remain to, like, be yourself in all situations, you will come across genuine, and then you also understand what you're good at and just do those things.
Yeah. They say your weaknesses could be your strengths too sometimes, depending on the situation. If you're open about it. If you're a person that's open about things you're not good at, or accepting of it. But that's a part of knowing who you are too. Yeah,
you just got to know who you are.
That's good.
Appreciate it.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for that. Man. So do you have any metaphors you'd like to sprinkle before we close it out? Do you have any ones that you just live by?
Off the top of my head.
I know. Come on. It's crunch time.
Ooh. I would say
No.
I'm just gonna, we're
cool.
good. There's nothing really coming like blaring out at me. So I would say in terms of, that's it.
It's all good. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yo.
I appreciate your presence. I can't wait to train with you. I feel like
Oh, you're coming to the gym?
I want to.
Let's go.
We talked about it briefly before, but I need a train. It's funny because I met you, I feel like, right when I'm looking for a gym, a trainer. I mean, because we're kind of new to LA, so I need a trainer. I'm like in the market. I'm on the market, in the market. I don't know. I'm looking for a trainer. That's what I'm saying.
Perfect time.
So I'll let you guys know how it goes. If you're in LA and I don't know what his schedule's like, but if you're out here, he's a dope trainer. Everybody that works with him has like literally sang your praises. So I can't wait to personally work with you. And then I want to obviously eventually do a follow-up with you when you're doing I don't know. You're probably going to be.
I will be in LA.
You're going to be in LA, but ain't no telling what he's going to be doing. So we're going to do follow-ups with all my amazing guests. But thank you again for being here. And thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay positive and test negative, you guys. We're out.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to work. Yeah. What's your name?